Amanda Nunes is now officially a Hall of Famer. She has been inducted, and there are very few other fighters more deserving to be in the Hall of Fame. But we know that Amanda Nunes is returning to face Kayla Harrison. She said a few months back she wants to return around November. And November is a very, very important month for the UFC for multiple reasons. We have what Dana White being held hostage announced in this announcement when he announced Arsenal versus Gone on Quiet versus Pereira 2 of the Netflix deal most likely being done. And then I'm gonna go back to this video where Khabib announces JDM versus Islam, and what I want to see from Netflix and the UFC on either their first or second major card under Netflix. And if they do it I lay out, I'm telling you, this sport is going to grow tenfold. But I am rambling on. Let's play the clip of the champ herself, the newly Hall of Famed Amanda Nunes.
I remember after you knocked out Chris Cyborg, you told Dana, Hall of Fame's the next thing. So I guess what's it like to finally walk the red carpet here? Because you walked these before, but now you're getting inducted.
Yeah, definitely amazing. I'm so happy to be here. I feel like I knew, you know what I mean? Like everything that I did in my career in the UFC, and there's no way I know would be here one day. I just worked hard, put everything that I have, my sweat, my blood, everything. You know what I mean? The discipline and everything, bringing me here. So it was just one more thing that I, have in my resume and to consolidate my whole career. And I'm here tonight. I'm so excited about it.
What's left for your resume then? Because the Hall of Fame you thought was going to be the last thing. So what's what's the next thing you want?
The next thing is in the new.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hear once again. It's not crazy.
Yeah.
If you guys think about that, honest. I'm gonna get my belt back, and you're gonna interview me again, and I'm gonna tell you. Remember, I told you I'm gonna get my belt back. So I'm here to do that.
Do you know like a timetable of when you want that fight with Kayla to happen? Because we only have a couple pay-per-views left in the year. You hoping it's this year? Or it's gonna
I hope it's this year for sure. I'm gonna talk to Dana, to Hunter, to see. You know what I mean? I'm ready to go. I'm healthy. I'm training, so ready to go.
Is there any location you would want that? Vegas, Madison Square Garden, Abu Dhabi?
Brazil, in my city, in Salvador, Bahia, Brazil, in Vegas, whatever. I want my belt back. Whatever I'm gonna be ready for.
Is it, a lot of people want you to go back for the second belt again and become that double champ. Is that something you would want to do too, or is it strictly for animals?
Man, whatever I wanna, honestly, I like it. Life is driving me, whatever the life wanna do with me, I'm gonna do, So I'm gonna be ready for all the doors that's ever out there. Become a champ again, a double champ again, and whatever, I'm gonna keep making history. I'm here for this. Thank you. Thank you.
That, okay, Jesse, I will go watch that video on Diddy after. But that right there, this interview with Amanda, man, the charisma, the energy, this is why I love Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes, man, we're gonna go through her record, right? But we know who Amanda is. Went up against Chris Cyborg, has won a major title in every promotion. Um, Dana White calls her Vanderlei Silva in the dress. I know it's old, but it never gets old. But she went out there and starched her in the first round, handing her her second loss. KO'd Holly Holm, KO beat Duran Duran, I mean. And when you go throughout her entire record, right? Even in the beginning of her career, fights these guys on the regional scene, Julia Biden Strike Force, she loses, gets her first round in naked choke, loses to Sarah however you say that name, uh, first round KO, first round TKO over Jermaine Durandamine, gets KO'd by Kat Zingano. But after that, TKO Shayna Baszler, who would go on joining WWE, which we're gonna get to the WWE connection in this video. And I'll talk a bit about what's going on over there. I don't watch it, but I've heard ratings and overall um fan enjoyment is, I don't know how to say it, but like it's majorly tanking. Bit like what's going on over here, you can say, but Sarah McMahon first summer naked choke, fights Valentina Shevchenko the first time, beats her by unanimous decision, which, I mean, talk about a win that ages fantastically. She submits Misha Tate in the first round to win the title, and then goes up against Ronda Rousey, coming off of the KO to Holly Holm, and murks her in that fight. Then they do the rematch with Valentina, which I kind of wish, you know, they gave it a little time. If you watch my channel a bit, you guys know my major issue with the UFC over the past, I would say, 10 years, is that they no longer let feuds and rivalries build. They did it with Sean O'Malley and Marab. That's my biggest example right there, where I want these fighters to fight one another, and unless it's, you know, a controversial decision or it was neck and neck, I don't like immediate rematches. But, you know, they gave it to her. Rightfully so. Valentina Shevchenko, what, second or third greatest uh, female fighter of all time. Then she goes up against Raquel Pennington. TKOs in the fifth round. Like I was talking about earlier, man. Goes in there against Chris Cyber, the most accomplished female fighter of all time at the time. You could argue on paper still, and she starches her, dude. Like, everybody going into this fight was like, I mean, Amanda Nunes is a beast, but it's Chris Cyborg. I don't know what jokes I'm allowed to make on YouTube anymore. I mean, hey, with the recent South Park season, if South Park is right, maybe we can make fun of that demographic now. But you know, we know what Dana White said. We know that, you know, Mr. Cyborg, I think, wasn't it only lost to Orisa Pacheco? I mean, we can check that out right now. I'm pretty sure. Um, who was it too? Oh no, it was her first loss in her career. That's right. Yeah, I was thinking of. I'm thinking of Kayla Harrison there, which we'll get to. But again, Amanda Nunes transcended the sport with this run right here. That cyborg fight changed women's MMA. Then she goes out there, KO's Holly Holm in the first round. Former champion, KO'd Ronda Rousey. Beats Duran Duran and beats Felicia Spencer. Submits Megan Anderson. Then you have the Juliana Pena fight in 2021. And there's no way around it, dude. Amanda Nunes looked awful in that fight. She was slow. You know, you can even see it in her eyes where she wasn't all there. We know the level of skill that Pena has. Pena is one of those fighters where this is the best I can put it. She is pure heart. Whether you like it or not, she is more heart than talent. I I would argue that she would even agree with me to an extent. and she got submitted in the second round. And it was like she went from being the war machine in women's MMA to having that performance. And then they booked the rematch July 2022. And she beat the shit out of Juliana Pena, man. This is the Amanda Nunes we all know and love. And she clearly showed that no. You, I am a better striker than Juliana Pena. And she bodied her. And that win, right? You look at that. That's inspirational. That's seeing the greatest of all time falling short, having a horrible performance. And she came back and had this story like fight that she needed. Where it's good when you finish somebody in a rematch, but when you were able to batter somebody, like, I think about Chuck Waddell, right? Where wasn't it the first Couture fight? Couture bodied Chuck Waddell, and he won that belt when nobody gave him that chance, right? Everybody wanted the title fight. Chuck was just gonna run through Randy Couture. Randy is 35. And like this is like peak Chuck Liddell, right? But no, he went in there. If you have never watched Randy Couture versus Chuck Liddell 1 and 2, that's what you go watch that. But in the first fight, man, if you know nothing about Randy Couture, dude, he beat the shit out of Chuck Liddell in his prime, right? Anyways, but like back to this fight, you know, that's what I mean, right? Where she has that horrible loss, and she just goes out there and batters Pena. Pena will go on to win the belt back against Raquel Pennington. No, Pennington won that fight. That's not even me being a Pena hater. Pennington won that fight, dude. I do not see how they give it to her. But before Pena won the victim belt, we had the Irene Aldana fight. She didn't get a finish, but once again, dominant performance, ran through her and showed that she is the GOAT. There is no female on her level. You know, she has her daughter, and man, Amanda Nunes transcended women's MMA in a way that the UFC wanted Ronda Rousey to. And there was a lot of hate. I know I'm waiting to get to Kayla Harrison. There was a lot of hate when she beat Ronda and she starts Ronda. And it wasn't until a few fights in the UFC got behind her. But now you have the greatest female fighter of all time returning right when this network deal was starting. And who is she going up against? The one name, besides Chris Cyborg, that was always brought up in a run as champion. Kayla Harrison. No. Why Kayla Harrison? She's an Olympic medalist. She, destroyed it in the Olympics. Goes to PFL, debuts in 2018, and only in, what would that be, like 7 years? First round armbar, third round TKO, first round TKO. this is PFL, but still, unanimous decision, submission, decision, you know, ran through the entire PFL division, right? Which, in terms of skill, it means, I mean, you look at these names, and Jindarova, that's a good win. Um, Pacheco was a good win. She did get it twice. But I mean, no wins that really stand up. Maybe Aspen Ladd, but eh. She loses that Larissa Pacheco fight. But she is still this outlier that her, Ollie, and everybody is saying, well, if anybody could do it, if anybody is on that level, it's Kiko Harrison. And she finally comes into the UFC. And she fights a common opponent, Holly Holm. Why is Holly Holm so significant? Right here. One of Amanda Nunes' best wins. And she submits in the second round. Now, this is Holly Holm past her prime, but it's still Holly Holm. It's still a legend of women's MMA. Then she goes in against Karen Vieira, outgrapples her, wins by unanimous decision. Bit of a close fight if you ask me, but I thought she got it done. And then we move in to UFC 316, a card that people already were like, well, I mean, they're giving O'Malley an immediate rematch. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? You should have just did Corey Sandhagen then. But we're not talking about that. She goes in against Juliana Pena, the one that upset Amanda Nunes and won the belt back. Not really. Um, she goes in there, looks good on the feet, and she wasn't scared. She took Juliana Pena down. Well, Juliana Pena is really good off of her back. That sounds horrible. Um, Maybe I won't know. But she is. As far as threatening submissions, even doing damage, Juliana Pena stands out to me as somebody who you can't really lay on top of her and get control time. She is constantly going to be a threat, and she gets it done in the second round. I am not saying Juliana Pena is an elite fighter, but kind of like how Ilya had that moment where he stepped into Charles' guard in their fight, it's still an impressive moment that you have to look at. And then you finally have the one name that we were all calling. The one name after Chris Cyborg where we were like, all right, the rest of these women just do not stand a chance. They are purely in there because the level of competition, and this is going to hurt some people's feelings, the level of competition in the division was not at a good place during Amanda Nunes' peak. But now you look at it as, um, this isn't the UFC rankings. Good lord. UFC, I'm going to the fan rankings. Honestly, I used in my other video today. The fan rankings are, when they load, much better. Um, but Amanda Nunes is returning at a very pivotal point for this division. We're moving into Netflix. She's setting she wants to fight on November. There's no better storytelling for them if they have the number two pound for pound guy going up and facing JDM, and you're having the GOAT of women's MMA return. And you look at this division, Caitlin Vieira, that's an interesting one. Norma Dumont. I really would love to see Amanda Nunes versus Norma Dumont. That would be the fight that I would want the most. But you got Macy Chiasson in there. Or I forgot. Didn't she beat Irene Aldana? I forgot who she beat. Again, no, are you really gonna knock me for not remembering women's fights? Um, but again, Norma Dumont, Macy Chiasson, um, Bueno Silva on the come up. She would be a very interesting um issue for Amanda Nunes. I think Amanda Nunes would beat her, but I could see Silva getting an upset submission, and then yeah, that's pull off down here like Misha Tate should beat Nora Kanoe. I really do like Nora Kanoe, but her last fight was eh um but yeah, the point of this being, you're going to move into Netflix. You are going to be on a streaming service. Everybody has Netflix. If you don't have Netflix, you're using, your family's login or your friend's login. Every Saturday, we have fights, and you're going to get more viewership off of Netflix than you're going to get because not everybody is going to have a Sportsnet or an ESPN subscription. Everybody has Netflix, so. And what I want to see from them during this Netflix merge is I want Netflix to take over or join the embedded team. I want every main card fight to have a face to face sit down in the locker room like they did with John Jones versus DC. I want that high production, high level promotion. No fucking stupid John Morgan asking the same fucking questions that we've heard for the last 3 fucking years. Um, that that's the one I see. I'm clipping the red man. I'm sorry about that. John Morgan gets me a little upset. I can't lie. Um, not attacking him personally. Still professionally, I think he's garbage. Um, oh good lord. But like, again, this is major. This is this is a sport that was banned in half the states. This was a sport that even when I was growing up, right? I was coming like I grew up around the Brock Lesnar era, the tough, right? I was born in 2004. I've been watching this sport ever since I could remember, and you know, I remember watching the Ultimate Fighter on Spike. I remember watching Fox cards. I remember when they moved. I miss Fox, by the way. Holy shit, dude. UFC on Fox, even when I go back, man. Fuck. Goldie too. I miss Goldie, man. Bring him back in the Netflix deal. You wanna make me happy? You wanna make me stop talking shit about the UFC? Bring back Goldie. But again, this is a different level, and we're moving towards a event at the White House next to the Washington Monument. Like, I could have never imagined this sport that I grew up loving being being a mainstream sport. Like, now, I'm excited, man. We're gonna get Amanda Nunes back. We're going to have interesting female divisions. We're gonna have a really fun flyweight division. We're gonna have Pantoja versus Marab. All these super fights, man. Like, this Netflix deal, if they do it correctly, if they have Netflix marketing, promoting, creating those interviews, those face to face, man, this sport will blow NFL and NHL out the water. I truly believe in this sport. I love this sport, man. Like, there is no other feeling than when you are watching a fight. You know, they're on the feet, trading punches. Maybe, it's been like a good 10 minutes of stalling, and then out of nowhere, man, fucking front kick up the middle. Anything can happen in this sport. And dude, there's just too many reasons I love this sport, man. There honestly is. I could not make a video with every reason, but like, man, this is big. And we're bringing back the greatest female fighter of all time who is excited, motivated, and that's a big thing about a returning fighter, right? She is motivated. And she is one of, kind of like Dustin Poirier, right? She is like one of the only good guys in MMA. Where, like, honestly, man, you can't hate Amanda Nunes, dude. Unless, you're a loser and you don't like her life choices and you really care that much. This woman is a badass. She worked harder than everybody in the sport in her prime. I truly believe, and she deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, man. She deserves to be looked at on that Mount Rushmore because, man, we when you look at women's MMA and you look at what she did, and you're looking at who's around now, yeah, Kayla Harrison might beat her, but I do not think there will be another fighter that could pick up the torch like she did with Ronda and run it that far. For all the reasons we went through in the video. But man, Netflix, dude. No more pay-per-views. And we would have JDM versus Islam, Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes, headline MSG. And they better fucking stack the shit. I really, when they move to Netflix, man, I want to see the UFC go balls to the wall. I want Dana White to be like, oh yeah, you made fun of me for how I've been announcing fights. Boom, here's Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. Here's, I don't know, Corey Sandhagen versus Sean O'Malley. Here's, well, be another. I can't think. Like, you know what I mean. Um, Khalil Andre versus Derek Lewis. I don't know, but that's what I want, man. I really hope that you know. I'm not talking about moving to WWE style. But I want this to be like we get a good version of embedded. We get the fighters, social medias, and then I really want high production interviews with Amanda Nunes and Kayla Harrison. And this is how I'm going to end this video off. The way you do it. You have a build up. You have a collage of everything that Amanda Nunes did throughout her career. You know, throw in some losses there. But then you show her winning the belt, her beating Ronda Rousey when the company did not want that at all. And against all odds, this woman set the bar. That's what I want to see from you, Netflix. That's what I want to see from you, UFC. That's what I want to see from you, Dana White. But yeah, I'm hyped, man. I am hyped for the end of the year. I'm hyped for this Netflix deal. I just hope the UFC delivers, man. But what do you guys think of what I've laid out here? You know, I'm just going off of the fact that months ago Amanda Nunes said she was returning around November. I think she said that actually at UFC 316. If I'm mistaken, correct me down below. But man, the UFC may be getting saved, but let me know what you think down below. Go watch my video on the flyweight division too if you didn't. That's another division, man, that's getting better and better, but that's a lot. Love you guys. Later.